Hi people, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to do a complete colouring book haul, all colouring books I own. I'm doing this one with an audience because my hubby is sat on the other sofa, which also means that he gets to see everything I've bought, which is a little bit daunting, but there you go. So I may have to do this video in two parts, depends how long it gets. I haven't got as many colouring books as A, I would like, or B, other people have. So yeah, let's get stuck straight into it, and I'll show you what books I own. Make a start with the Pictura books. I've got a couple of these. This one is Ian Andrews' Aurelian. I won't flip through them, I'll just show you what I've got and then move on to the next one. So yeah, the first of the Pictura ones that I have is Ian Andrews' Aurelian. Next I have a Pictura by John Howe called Draconis, which I am desperate to colour in, but I'm a little bit intimidated by, so I need to get over that one. Next I have got my Rita Berman books, which are up there amongst my favourite colouring books. This one is Die Welt unter der Lupe Zoolander, and this is the Land Under the Microscope, I think. That's that one. Then I have the Die Welt unter der Lupe Wasser, which is life underwater, under the microscope, sort of. I'm sure your German's better than mine. And then the third book I have by Rita is this one, which I'm not even going to try and butcher the title of this one, but it's A Walk Through the Seasons, something like that. This is my latest book that I've got by her. So yeah, that's my 3 Rita Berman books. There's another 4 I need to collect. And I'm putting this on video so that my husband is aware of this and isn't going to shout at me when they arrive in the mail. Because he can't shout at me when I'm on video. Next I've got these beautiful letters to colour and share. I think I got this off Amazon. And it's another of the small colouring books, and I haven't done anything in this one yet, but that's on my to-do list. So next I've got a couple of books from Good Wives and Warriors. This is Escape to Oz, and the next one I have is Escape to Wonderland by Good Wives and Warriors. There's a few more in their collection that I'd quite like. So yeah, that's those little ones. And then the last of my small colouring books is Colouring for Mindfulness Nature, 70 Designs to Help You De-Stress. Haven't even looked in this book. I think it was one of the very first ones I got from the local newsagents. And it's a fiddly one, and it wasn't really what I wanted, but that was all that was around at the time, so that's what I got. So that's that one. I've only been collecting these since May of 2018, so yeah. So next I'm going to go through my random pile of odd colouring books that I've got. This is Dromenvanger by Tomislav Tomek. This is one of my all-time favourite books. I am desperate for him to do some more colouring books. I have no idea if he is, but if anybody knows, let me know in the comments below, because his artwork's just awesome. So that's Dromenvanger. And the next one I have by him, this is Spookiest Boss, Tomislav Tomek. I've just got this one. I've done a couple of pieces in it, and again that artwork is just amazing in that, and so yeah, I hope he brings some more out soon. Next is, and I don't even know if these are going to fit on camera. No, they're not. Let me try and zoom out a bit. Wrong way. No, I can't. Anyway, never mind. I've got 3 of these. This is To the Moon, illustrated by Sarah Yoon. This is the tallest colouring book in the world. I haven't started colouring this one because I don't know how to deal with it, but it is exciting and I am going to have a go at it. So I think I got this one from Amazon. That's an interesting book to have. Then I have To the Ocean Deep, also by Sarah Yoon, and this one is the longest colouring book in the world, which extends to 15 feet. Excuse me. I got this one from The Works, which is the UK's budget bookshop thing place. So yeah, I haven't coloured in that one neither, for the same reason that I can't figure out how to manipulate it. And then this one is The Ends of the Earth and Back Again by Ghost Wives and Warriors, and this one is also the longest colouring book in the world and extends to 17 feet. This one's probably a bit easier to deal with, so this one I'll probably start with first. So next up, I've got some budget colouring books that I got from The Works. These were a grand total of £2 each. Normally I shy away from buying these sorts of books because I just think, oh, they're going to be rubbish, but actually once I had a look in them, the pictures are really nice. So I bought all 4 while I was there and had the chance. So this is The Fairies Colour Art by Creative Colouring, just by Brown Watson Publishing, I think it is. So just a budget colouring book. This is the Doodle Art Garden Flowers, same series. Again, nice images in it, but I haven't done anything in these yet. Next is The Mermaids Colour Art in the same series. I think this is my least favourite of the 4. And then Unicorns Colour Art, and actually the pictures in that are really nice. So yeah, you can get those from The Works in the UK on their website. Next is a book by Jessica Palmer. Hope you can see that there because the light in here is rubbish today. This is Tanglewood, a captivating colouring book with hidden jewels by Jessica Palmer. I've started one in here but I haven't got any further. This came from W.H. Smith's, and it's a sort of Zentangle-y, patterny thing, and I kind of have to be in the mood to colour those, but it's a nice book to have all the same. That's that one. This is one of my favourites. This is the Mouse Guard colouring book by David Peterson. I follow him on Instagram now and he puts up so much artwork from this sketchbook work and things like that. I am really hoping he does another Mouse Guard colouring book, because I'm having to pace myself going through this one so that I don't just colour it all and then find myself bereft because I have no more to colour. That's Mouse Guard. Next is Colin Thompson's colouring book. I've got a flip through of this on my channel. I'm just about to be joined by a cat, which will not be helpful. Yeah, this is by Ravensburger. It's one of those books that is super, super detailed. Lots of grayscale in it. And it's going to take a long time to colour. Again, we'd like another one of these, please, Mr. Thompson, if you don't mind, because it's a pretty awesome book. This is another budget book that I've bought from The Works. This is Magnificent Peacock's colouring book. I bought this one with a purpose because obviously when you colour peacocks they have to be peacock coloured, and for some reason I always find that really intimidating. So I thought if I got a book about peacocks I would have to get my head round colouring the feathers and things. So I don't know, there's some logic in that somewhere, but it was only a couple of quid, so that's the Magnificent Peacocks colouring book. Excuse me. I'm sure most of you have seen this one. This is Myth and Magic, an enchanted fantasy colouring book by Kinyoko Wycraft. This is a beautiful, beautiful book, but oh my word, it is so detailed. It's definitely one for super sharp pencils. You really, I think, are going to have to be in the mood for colouring to do this any justice. But I've got it, and one of these days I will open it up and get stuck in. This is one of my very first colouring books, Baroque Butterfly, a travel back in time colouring book by Edward Ramos. It's a create space book with black single-sided images. I'm not sure what to make of it, but it's really good for practicing markers in, which is what I use it for. But if you like butterflies and you like Baroque stuff, then that might be for you. So that's available on Amazon. Next, I've got the Goddess and Mythology colouring book by Selena Fennick. Actually, I've only got half a book because I gave the other half of it to my daughter, the second set of images, which is one of the things I liked about her books, is when you get books with two sets of images, and often they've got the two images together, so you're sort of stuck with them all together. But she puts hers as two separate books with the idea that you can half it and give half to a friend. So yeah, that's a useful thing to know about those books. I've only coloured one in here, but I will get on with it. Next, I've got Extreme Colouring Tattoos. This was a random impulse buy, I have to say, from W.H. Smith's, because I felt the need for a colouring book and I couldn't make my mind up. So I thought I'd just get something off the wall, and this is what I ended up with. It sat on the shelf for months and I've never touched it. And it's another one of those crazy books that is, it's kind of in the same vein as Mimi Marotta's books, where it's super, super detailed. So I'm not sure, there might be one or two in there that I'll really get into, but yeah, I'm not as struck on that one as I could be. Next is The Story of Pandora, a fantasy colouring book. This is Kim Sun Hyun, Korean colouring book, I believe. This one came from Amazon, but it's easier to get a hold of on Etsy. This is a sort of a take on Alice in Wonderland, and I am obsessed by Alice in Wonderland. And I've got loads and loads of colouring books and bits and pieces and things to do with Alice. So I had to have this, but actually the book itself, there's very little resemblance inside. Other than it having a white rabbit in it and some weird creatures, lots of mushrooms. It's got a lot of white space in it, this book. And I've kind of got a plan in mind for this one, which is to do the background as a continuous dream. So the background through the whole book will lead from one image to the next, in theory. So that is The Story of Pandora. Let's It's a nice book, but I think it's an acquired taste. This is my only copy so far of Colour in Heaven's Gothic Fairies. This is the Gothic Fairies special by Mika Jelena. Her work reminds me very much of Hannah Lynn's. I have subscribed to this. It was supposed to start with Herb Leonard's nouveau fantasy book last month, and it never arrived. So yeah, Colour in Heaven, I'll be getting a phone call tomorrow, I think. This one as well presents some challenges because it's got some really dark black background images in it that will require some creative thought as to how to colour those. So that's the first pile of those. We'll have a look at my Johanna Basford books next. I've got 2 copies of Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. A couple of reasons for that. The first one is it started to fall apart massively as I was colouring it, which did not impress me at all, and I know that these books are fairly bad for doing that. So it is now my sort of practice copy, if you like, so I don't worry too much if I mess up ideas in this book, but it's a good place to try things out. And then I've got a new copy of it, which is my pristine copy that I will be taking my time to colour in, and hopefully this one will stay together long enough for me to finish it. I do intend to have that one bound at some point in the future. Next from Johanna is The Secret Garden. I mean, everybody's seen these books, so I don't really need to give them much explanation. Yeah, just because I have collector's syndrome when it comes to colouring books, so when I find an artist I like, I have to get everything by them. I'm giving away all of my secrets here, and my hubby's sat looking out the corner of his eye every now and again over the top of his glasses. This is Enchanted Forest, another one that needs no explanation. I tend not to colour in these very much. I think because I've seen so many pages actually coloured in them that I sort of think, oh, do I want to colour that or not? So this is Lost Ocean. I don't know whether this is my least favourite of Johanna's books or whether that's Ivy, but this one is super detailed, and I just get the urge to colour that in fine liners, which then in turn drives me nuts. And finally The World of Flowers, which I think is my favourite of her books. There's lots of opportunities for colouring leaves in this one, and I quite like colouring leaves, which sort of, I suppose, sets me apart from a lot of other colourers who hate it. But there we are, Johanna Basford's World of Flowers. So I've got all of Johanna's books. Next I have got the Pop Manga colouring book by Camilla D'Erico. I absolutely love this book. It is gorgeous. The images in it are beautiful. The artwork's amazing. Yeah, I do like that book a lot. And so of course I had to get the other one, which is The Mermaids and Other Sea Creatures, and I love this one just as much. So it's good to have both of her books in my collection, and I'm pleased I've got them. I've just started to colour in this one, finally. Sometimes I just don't want to spoil them. It's as nice to collect the books as it is to colour in them. Next I have, excuse me, a couple of books by Daria Song. Again, I've got 2 copies of The Time Garden. The story behind this is I got one from W.H. Smith's, started colouring in it, and thought I would use watercolours. So as you can hear, I gessoed the pages first and then realised what a big mistake that was. So in my eyes that book is trashed. So that became a let's just use that for practice and technique and things like that. So I thought I'll get another one. So I found a second copy of The Time Garden on Amazon Marketplace. It said it was pristine, as new, and it was something like £1.50. So I should have known better, because it's anything but pristine. It's drawn in, and yeah, so I got my money back on that one. So I've got 2 copies of that to mess about with, and it is proper battered as well, which wasn't very nice. And from the same seller at the same time, I got The Time Chamber, which was also listed as pristine, and this is in even worse condition. And half the pages were torn out when it arrived, so I was not impressed. I won't use that seller again, but it's kind of put me off those books, which is a shame. So it would be nice to have proper copies of those, but I'm not in any hurry to get them now, because that's kind of spoiled the experience. Next is The Labyrinth, Mythical Beasts to Colour. I've had this one for ages as well. I wasn't sure when I got it because some of the pages have coloured bits on them, which sort of distracted me a bit from the images. And again, they're sort of this Zentangle kind of thing. So it's sat on my shelf for ages and ages and ages, but I have started to colour in this one, and actually I love it. The paper's fab, the images are amazing. There's 4 in this series as well. The other 3 are the menagerie, the aviary and the aquarium. Actually, I'm not that bothered about getting those ones, so for once my collection syndrome hasn't kicked in yet. Next is Menuet de Bonheur. I got this from Etsy, and I get my books, if I can, from the stationery corner on Etsy, as she imports books from Korea and Japan and all over the place. So it means you're not paying extortionate prices for postage. So I was thrilled to get this one. This is one of my favourite books. I haven't coloured much in it, but it is so pretty to look through. It's really gorgeous. The paper's amazing. And it kind of appeals to that whimsy side of my nature a little bit. So that's Menuet de Bonheur. I have no idea who the artist is because it's all in Korean. Oh, Kanoko Agusa. This is Rhapsody in the Forest. This is the Dutch version, I think. So this is the second book in the series, and this is equally as beautiful, and I need to colour in this one just because it's so damned cute. So those 2 are 2 of my very favourite colouring books. Next I have 3 of Kirby Rosanes colouring books. The first 3, I've got Mythomorphia, excuse me. I've had these, I've given them away, and I've got them again. So I don't know what that one was all about, but that's what I did. So I've got Mythomorphia and Imagimorphia and also Animorphia. I'm not sure whether I'm going to go so far as to get Geomorphia and Phantomorphia, or the new one that he's got coming out, which includes the fan art. It's a beautiful book, but I don't know whether I want it in my collection. Out of the three, Mythomorphia is my favourite because it has the least of these little doodly bits in it. So that's my Kirby Rosanes books. Just move those out the way, start on the next pile. Next I have my collection of Tanya Paga books. This is Nice Little Dragons. I know there's a couple of these, but I've only got the first one. And this is one of those books that has 2 of each image in. I just love her artwork. I think it's just really different. I know a lot of people are sort of, the jury's still out about these, but I really like her books. And they are a really, really good price as well for loads of colouring. So that's Nice Little Dragons. Then I've got the Nice Little Town series. I have got book 4. I didn't get books 1, 2 and 3 because they weren't as cute. And I know that book 1 is just a tiny one. So I started with book 4. And I have book 5. And book 6 and book 7, which is the latest one, which came out in January of this year. So I keep an eye on what she's up to and seeing what other books she's bringing out, because I really do like her artwork. So that is Tanya Paga's Nice Little Town series. Next I have Dreamlings by Edwina McNamee. I kind of go through a love-hate with this one. Again, it has 2 lots of images, one on white paper, one with black backgrounds. Sometimes I look at it and think, oh, that's so cute. And then other times I look at it and think, not sure. So I've got to be in the mood for colouring this one. So for that reason, I've only got one of her books. So that's Dreamlings. Next is my collection of Sherry Baldi books. I've got a bit of a love-hate going on with these as well, because I find the same images repeated throughout her books, and that makes me feel cheated when I spend money expecting a book with new images in. Everybody else seems to manage it, so yeah, at the risk of getting battered down for that, I don't think I'll be buying any more of her books. But I've got Steampunk Sweethearts, and I have got her Alice and the Looking Glass colouring book, just because it's Alice in Wonderland and it adds to my collection, although I have to say I'm not enamoured with it. Excuse me. And finally I've got the My Bestie Steampunk colouring book. Excuse me while I have a drink. Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, that is the 3 Sherry Baldi books that I have. Next I have The Flower Year by Leela Julie.